ANC North West Congress is underway as threats of litigation mounts. The NEC has withdrawn 52 votes in a preemptive measure. Newzroom Afrika's Pelane Phakgadi is at the Rustenburg Civic Centre and joins me now live. Pelane, we know that a breakdown of the numbers was what we heard a short while ago from leaders of the ANC, speaking to some of the concerns around how many delegates are there and the High Court matter also hanging over its head.
Well, definitely, and I can tell you now, it's no longer a matter that is hanging over their head. It is now seemingly that it is the truth. At about 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock tonight, we are expecting that there could be a court appearance where the African National Congress will be expected to defend themselves against a disgruntled group, and they have made clear demands. And among their demands is that the IPC should play no role whatsoever. That is the Interim Provincial Committee as far as the preparations of this conference and as well as continuing. So the African National Congress has taken a decision that the IPC, as far as their votes are concerned, all 20 of them, they will not be playing any kind of a role, a voting role, as far as they believe, and therefore they've withdrawn them. They were just confirming, although we've been reporting about it across throughout the day, but currently they were just confirming that that is what they've presented to plenary a short while ago, and in their presentation it was accepted by the delegates here that the 20 IPC members should not form part of the voting delegates. So currently they are non-voting delegates. But as well, they went back again to talk about the 32 votes of the interim regional committees, because remember, there was just a disbandment across the province as far as the structures of the ANC is concerned. So there were also interim regional committees, and in just a preactive measure, making sure that there is no litigation that will come to say that the interim regional committees as well should not have played a role. Therefore, they've revoked their voting statuses as well, and they are now non-voting delegates. So about 52 votes, as you already rightfully put it, are currently now going to be non-voting delegates, and it's what was presented to plenary, and the plenary is happy with that. Now what we do understand that it is dinner here, and they're going to be going back to present a new program of action for the rest of the evening. And in that new program of action, we asked a very pertinent question as to who will deliver the political report, the organizational report, and as well as the financial report, because the IPC is no longer going to be playing any kind of a role. And the African National Congress leaders who were here gave us an indication that the National Executive Committee of the ANC has a prerogative to choose the person that would be able to present in any or if not all of those particular reports, which are very much important in order for the Congress to go ahead, because without the progress report of how far they've gone since the disbandment of the leadership that was led by Suprema Mahumapelo is concerned, they will not be able to proceed. So the NEC says that they will delegate. They have the powers as per the constitution of the ANC to delegate an individual, and not an IPC as a structure per se, but an individual. It could very well be a Chauke once more as the IPC leader, the former leader of the IPC, which will then, we do understand, will be dissolved once they get to that instant when the program has been adopted. So in a nutshell, they can deploy any one person within the plenary to go and deliver those particular reports. And we asked again if that might not bring any kind of litigation if it was done by the former IPC members themselves, and they say they will not be doing so in the structures of the IPC, but as individuals, as mandated by the NEC. So a lot of mathematics, a lot of things that are just seemingly taking decisions so that they are preemptive, so that some of them will not end up in court. The ANC taking decisions so that they're not going to be ending up in court, but we do know already that there is a disgruntled group, and by the end of tonight, they believe that they will be in court. I've just seen a letter, still going to go through it quite with a comb to try and understand what the disgruntled group is trying to achieve by the end of the night, because yesterday they had a goal. Their goal was to ensure that they remove the voting powers of of the IPC, they achieved that. Perhaps that gave them a little bit of some steam to say some of the issues that have been raising may be genuine, and a court of law can come to a different outcome, and therefore they are approaching on a very urgent basis the High Court sitting in Mahikeng. We believe it could be virtual. We might have a link to that, and once we do get an understanding of the papers that we've seen and the response from the African National Congress, which the NEC here has confirmed that they do have the papers and are preparing to respond. If it is, of course, public, then we'll be able to take it to you live, or even able to report about what is the possible outcomes there. Is the conference halted in any way? Is it affected in any way? Or perhaps there is a continuation of the conference without any kind of new elements that have been added to it by a court of law.
Absolutely. And as you and I speak, the conference is well underway, but of course that could change after 10 o'clock or as we head to 10 o'clock. But in the meantime, it's all underway. And we heard from ANC spokesperson Pelane a short while ago, Pelane, saying that they're hoping to achieve the adoption of credentials by this evening already. Perhaps give us more clarity on what's expected to happen after dinner.
Well, we're expecting that there are over 700 voting delegates who are here will be able to listen onto the credentials, because we had a report from the Obed Bapela as a convener of the deployees here in the Northwest that there were about 300 branches that have been qualified, and about 316 branches rather who qualified, and those, of course, who are here verified and are in good standing is about 300 of them, and that is amounting to about 700 delegates. And all in all, there's about just over 1,000 delegates who are here, some of them non-voting delegates, to help the conference move on as far as policy is concerned. There have been invited delegates, and there's as well as members of the allies, Yusanko, the SACP, COSATU will be forming part of commissions to assist in bringing about a policy directive of the ANC, especially towards conference. And already there has been a policy conference of the ANC, so I'm sure it will be much easier for them to take the discussion documents and be able to discuss them about the already, ways that the policy conference have recommended for the 55th National Conference of the ANC to adopt. So there's already a pathway for them to do so. We are expecting after dinner that they'll be able to talk about the program. They'll be able to talk about the number of people who are here, those who are here against the number of people who have registered to be here. So a roll call of some sort. And in that regard, if they are accepted, then the conference will continue. Remember that although the program has started, the only way we can say that the ANC conference has officially begun is when there's been adoption of credentials, and that will be a thorny issue. Whether it will be, concluded in about 15 minutes, as I say you've seen in KwaZulu-Natal, and Pelane be talking about it here, that they believe that they could be able to beat that they've seen no commotion whatsoever. Delegates here seem to be in a jovial mood and in a good spirit to ensure that they conclude the conference as a matter of urgency. I mean, they've started late already. It'll be Sunday tomorrow, and they'll be looking as well to conclude commissions at least before Monday. So whether or not they'll be able to do that, it is something that we wait to see. But the adoption of credentials of the program will then be a matter of agency after dinner.
Very well. Let's leave it there for now. Pelane Phakgadi bringing us the latest coming out of the ANC North West Elective Conference. Of course, all eyes on what will happen in an hour or so when it comes to that court matter. Still to come, though.